Hi, thanks for watching. I'm Brian Rodriguez.
Brian Rodriguez is in McFarland at the scene right now with more. Brian?
Rick and Dinah, you can see it is still a very active scene here on Main Street in McFarland. We've got a crowd out here wondering what is going on. The very latest, as you said, Dane County negotiators are inside a home just down the block here on Main Street. They're speaking with a man who we are told is in his mid-40s, who had barricaded himself in the basement of the home, and we are told is armed with a handgun. Heavy rains caused puddles like this all over the softball fields, canceling the softball tournament first. But because of the consistent heavy rain and all the lightning, keeping Wanafest open today would have been a safety hazard. What's going on here? What are they doing?
My brakes were worn out, so they're replacing them.
So your brakes were not working?
No.
So this is a Toyota then? Greg, right now this is the sophomore Memorial and Madison East team playing right now, but these fans that you see right over here, they've been in their seats since 5 o'clock and they've lined up since about 3:30. This is a big deal for many of them because, like you said, there's a conference title on the line, and this is a matchup that many fans have called epic. That procedure took me about 40 minutes, and I was told that trained professionals can actually do it in about 9 minutes. Maybe I should keep my day job, but...
You know you're a beginner, Brian.
I am, but if you guys are looking for an angioplasty, I'm your man now.
Dinah,
well,
take
40,
it first.
yeah.
Let me know how it goes.
Go to St. Mary's.
All right, Brian.
The jury is still behind closed doors right now trying to piece together the evidence and witness testimony to decide whether or not James Koep murdered the Lenz family back in 2007. James Koep walked into a Rock County courtroom already facing life in prison. He was convicted of murdering the Lenz family in February.
The only questions are whether or not the sentences will be consecutive and whether the defendant will be eligible for release.
Koep's lawyer requested parole after 20 years. He said Koep was bipolar and was abused as a kid.
Mental illness inhibits rational behavior, and the theory of punishment, of course, is based upon rational behavior.
At the ripe old age of 51, to be sitting in court saying I should get some deference because I've got some mental health issues, I think is a hollow argument.
Prosecutor David O'Leary cited Koep's long criminal history that included home invasions and a sexual assault conviction in 1983. Kimberly Luck, Daniela Lenz's sister, spoke for her family at the sentencing.
You took my sister and kids in ways that I will never understand and will never understand.
Koep was given the option to speak.
No, there isn't.
But did not. Daniela Lenz's father, Russell Luck, says he's glad Koep didn't.
I only had one question for him, and that's why, and he wouldn't have answered it anyway.
Judge Alan Bates went with the state's recommendations, 3 life sentences and no parole.
There could never really be any restorative justice, and we'll never really know if this sentence deters anyone, but we will know that the community will be safe for Mr. Koep for as long as he lives.
Luck was the one who found the bodies 3 years ago. He said the sentence was what his family had been waiting 3 long years to hear.
A blessing that it's over with. It's finally come to an end. Now everybody, family and all, can turn around and get on with their lives knowing that he's not around.
Both baby and mom are doing just fine, and for the firefighters who delivered the newborn, it's all still sinking in. Brian Rodriguez talked with the team who delivered the baby tonight.
Yeah, you know, the firefighters are trained to deliver babies, and some of them have, but at the fire station, well, that's a different story. It was a not-so-typical night at Fire Station 5 in Madison.
We were sitting down to our dinner. We were almost through with dinner, just talking about the day and then what kind of call we were going to have.
That's when the page came. A woman was about to give birth and headed their way.
And so we answered up and then come upstairs, and they were already out here.
The first thing they wanted to do was get the family away from the driveway, give them some privacy, and they moved the car inside to where this ambulance is. And that's when the baby started coming.
Honestly, I don't remember what was going through my head. Everything just kind of happened really fast, and you just kind of rely on your training.
It was time. Nature had said that this is it. It's time to come.
The mom did all the work. All we did was we were just there for support and talk her through stuff.
From start of events to delivery was an hour, which is pretty unbelievable for a first baby.
We're at the fire station for maybe 10 minutes, and
Baby came.
baby was there already.
This is little Braden, born 7 pounds 6 ounces. Mom and Dad had a message for those firefighters.
Thank you very much. They were so great.
It was great, and I mean, we can't thank them enough for what they were able to do for us.
Yeah.
Now this family and these firefighters have a very special connection. An amazing story about what may be Fire Station 5's very first baby. After the baby was born, firefighters told me they joked with the parents to name the baby after one of them, but of course the parents said that they already had a name picked out.
And they stuck to it.
Yeah, absolutely. They were thinking about it for just a little bit, but they stuck with Braden.
Good story. Thanks so much, Brian.
There's a story behind every one of these horses at this rescue facility in Janesville. Most of them tragic, like Reba, rescued from a kill pen in Iowa. Marks of abuse remain.
Somebody just hit, and then they wanted to kill her. And that's what they do. They abuse, and that's all right there.
Some former kings.
He's a grand national champion. He came from Canada.
Others left for dead.
A state patrol officer happened to found them. They were all bone and skins.
Vet tech Jim Bondowski and his wife Cindy run the humane organization Rescuing and Saving Equine, or HORSE. For more than a decade, they have been taking in abandoned and abused horses.
When they come in here, they have a lot of pain and a lot of hurtness and a lot of abusement.
All that snorting, horses don't normally make that noise unless they're scared.
And then there are cases like Tucker, a special needs horse that needs a special place that can handle his serious emotional issues. But rescues like this one in Janesville are running out of room.
Someone like me calls up, hey, I got this horse, he's an emotional basket case, he needs professional help. And they're like, well, we can't help you.
They call this time of year dumping season. It's when they're flooded with horses people simply can't afford to keep anymore.
Stretch.
Bondowski says this year has been a nightmare.
We had to take our name down out in front because we come home, there's horses tied up to the fence, or there's horses in pasture. Last year we were at 27, this year we're up to 60.
Bondowski says his nonprofit facility and other rescues around Wisconsin are now at capacity, and the horses that can't be saved are often killed.
If they have no means, and like us horse rescues don't have no more room and everything, they look to slaughter them. They'll look to even as much as shooting them in the backyard.
Bondowski is not only emotionally drained, with limited federal, state, and county grants available, he's financially drained as well. Last year, it cost nearly $300,000 to run this horse rescue facility in Janesville, and because of the tough economy, they expect that cost to triple this year. In fact, it's forced Bondowski to dip into his own pocket.
I would say roughly in my pension, I'd say probably about $15,000 already this year.
Still, Bondowski refuses to quit, finding recovered horses a home so that another one has a chance to be rescued. And if he can't take them in, he finds someone who can.
People gotta realize there's people like us out here.
Bondowski calls his mission a gift to these animals. And although they can't talk, they show they're grateful to have a second chance.
Say thank you. Say thank you.
Arrested again, a Verona man is charged with his 12th operating while intoxicated offense. Hi, thanks for watching. I'm Brian Rodriguez. The man's car had an ignition interlock device, something that's supposed to stop a driver from operating a car while drunk. But as Derek Stahl reports, authorities say no system is perfect.
47-year-old Thomas Reed is in Dane County Jail tonight. Many people are wondering, how could someone with 11 OWI convictions be in this position, behind the wheel again? They were before 1989. They were under a different law, and the court doesn't count that against you for sentencing purposes, Brian.
Yeah, but still 9 OWIs is a lot. All right, thanks, Derek. Wisconsin's new OWI law went into effect in July. In it, all second offenders are required to install an ignition interlocking device. Let's go ahead and get a check of our forecast with Evan Hutchinson, a very popular man today. Evan, like you said, I believed you when you said yesterday a carbon copy, and it was.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to take credit for this weather. It's,
you should.
Yesterday was very nice. Today, and another outstanding day. And then Sunday, well, that's when the big changes come into the area. And I'll have those details for you coming up in just a little bit.
That was a good while it lasted, Evan.
It was. Nothing good lasts forever.
All right, thanks. In Janesville today, we heard mixed reaction to the news that GM might reopen one of its plants there. Some people are optimistic. They think GM will open in Janesville again. But others, they say they're not falling for those rumors again. GM has typically contacted the city of Janesville when it was considering reopening the plant, and city manager Eric Levitt told us that nobody from the company has contacted him yet. GM has not yet commented either. Chrysler made it official today. It will be closing its engine plant in Kenosha. That means 575 people will be out of a job when it closes the first week of October. The announcement doesn't come as a surprise, though. For more than a year, Chrysler said it planned to shut down the plant by the end of 2010. Investigators say a broken pin and ring caused a State Fair ride to stall last night, stranding more than 150 riders. The Sky Glider reopened today. It takes people across the fair grounds. People were stuck for about 3 hours when the motor failed last night. Firefighters helped bring riders down with cherry pickers. Lake Delton police finished their investigation into last week's thrill ride accident at Extreme World. Police say they turned all the information over to the Sauk County District Attorney's Office, and they'll decide whether charges will be filed. Last week, 12-year-old Tegan Marty dropped 100 feet onto her back on the ride terminal velocity. Marty is still recovering at UW Hospital and is expected to have some paralysis. A man wanted for a robbery in Minnesota was arrested here after an accident. The Wisconsin State Patrol arrested Robert Lee Russell. He was involved in a wreck on Interstate 94. A trooper found a backpack full of money in the van Russell was driving. Now, police say Russell was wanted for robbing a St. Paul bank, taking a teller hostage, and shooting a security guard. Wisconsin's GOP candidates for governor squared off for the first time. Mark Newman and Scott Walker differed mostly on details. Businessman Newman and Milwaukee County Executive Walker debated on the radio and on the web at the state fair. Both urged more tax cuts and less government spending, but there was a disagreement over Newman's plan to jumpstart investment and spending by delaying tax obligations. Walker seems to also be beating Newman when it comes to advertising, at least in our market anyway. We called all the news outlets in our area and asked how much both were spending on advertising from August 2nd through the 16th. Now, Walker spent more than $92,000 and Newman around $53,000, as you see there on your screen. Now, one station didn't have its second week spending for Walker, but it still shows he is outspending Newman 2-to-1. Authorities in Chicago are still searching Lake Michigan for a man that has been missing after going swimming. We'll have more on the latest on that one, plus video of a volcano erupting in Indonesia. What happened the last time it became active, coming up.